Young Lord and mine. Yes, I try. Yes, I try. Young Lord and mine. And though you know I die for you, young Lord and mine. Yes, I cry. Yes, I cry. Return of the man. Return of the man. Come on. Return of the man. Oh my God. Know that I can. Here I am. Return of the man. Once again. Return of the man. Up off the world. Return of the man. Watch my flow. Know that I can. Here I go. So I'm back up in the game. Running things to catch my swine.
Why am I blurry?
Why am I blurry?
Hold on.
Cause what they did, know was wrong. And all the nasty things you done. So baby, let's take it believe. While I sing my comeback song. Young life of mine.
All right. What is up? Can you guys see me and hear me? Let's make sure we're working. Can everybody see me? Everybody hear me? Because it is a storm fest over here in Texas. It was intentional. I intentionally made it blurry, and then I just sat down, and it was like, bang! What's going on? It is a massive storm fest here right now. Like you can barely, like rain is going sideways to upside down. That's how bad it's raining. So if something happens to this, like my power goes out, we'll probably just let it slide and we'll pick this up tomorrow. I'm going to try to get this in. I think we'll be okay. There's not a ton of lightning, so hopefully we will be all right. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining me live. This is not going to be long because there's not a whole lot of change in the market as of right now. But I do want to talk about what's happening and my anticipation for what I believe is going to happen in May. So that's what we're going to do. And then later on this week, probably Friday or Saturday, we're going to do another altcoin madness. We're going to start talking about altcoins and kind of show you the diversity amongst the charts and my expectations also for Ethereum and altcoins. But today I really want to focus on the overall market. But before we get started, this video is brought to you by 4C Media. And I want to give a shout out to my right-hand man, Nash. Everybody hit Nash up in the chat. Without Nash, there would be no 360 Trader. Love you, brother. Thanks for everything that you do. Okay, so before I get the charts up, we got a couple things that I want to talk about. We already know, because I've been saying this literally for over a year. Bitcoin is in the possession of governments, states, and institutions, and the rate of speed at which this is climbing and developing is increasing. And just a couple of days ago, what happened with Arizona? Arizona passed through both their House and their Senate and the House, and approved their Bitcoin reserve. Now, that's a state. That's one state. That's one U.S. state. There's literally another, I believe it's about 28 states that have bills in their houses and senates right now. So the only thing Arizona has left is that bill has to be placed on the desk of the governor. The governor just has to sign it. So what does that mean? Because, I mean, that's great. Arizona's bill says that they want to spend 10% of their public funds and put Bitcoin as a global reserve asset. That 10% is equal to $3 billion. That's one state. Okay? So there's a plethora of this getting ready to happen. A plethora. Now, we already know that the United States federal government has approved the Bitcoin reserve, and we believe there's approximately 200,000 Bitcoins in there. But listen, that's just the foundation. The bill that they're trying to approve, because they have a plan to accumulate more Bitcoin, and they said it would come at no cost to the taxpayer. At no cost to the taxpayer. So the plan is for the United States government, federal government, to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin, not $1 million worth of Bitcoin, actually to purchase an additional 1 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years. That's like 4% of the supply. That's like 4% of the total supply. Okay. So How they're going to do it, they haven't really established that. They've talked about using some gold to purchase it and doing some other things to get that done. So we don't really know what that looks like, but that is the bill that I believe we see the U.S. government pass probably by the end of the year. So this is like, besides that, we continue to have every quarter, we continue to have a new number of new corporations, business entities that have said, yes, we are going to start buying Bitcoin. And the first quarter alone, I think, saw about 12 new companies. Like, that's in addition to the ones that are still doing it on like a monthly basis or quarterly basis. This number continues to climb at a rapid pace. So this is the background. This is just the background for what I believe is underlying this massive global economic shift. This is just the background. And it's another reason why I don't believe we ever see Bitcoin cheap again. It's out of the hand, for the most part, it's out of the hands of retailers. It literally is. And then real quick, I mean, these headlines seem so tiny because it's like I don't see people going overboard with them, but they're not. They're not tiny. They're absolutely massive. Did you guys catch MasterCard's post? Yeah. Because I told you the future of cash, the future of like money is stablecoins. It is. It's the future of backing the US dollar. It's the future of cash. And everything that's come out is backing this. It's not even a theory anymore. Like, if you had asked me a year and a half ago, yes, you could say it's a theory. It's not a theory. It's actually happening right now. We already know. What do we already know? We know stablecoins are increasing the amount of U.S. treasuries that they're buying. They're literally entrenched in the United States financial system to back the U.S. dollar. But MasterCard has come out and they are working right now to complete the platform that enables you to use stablecoins anywhere MasterCard is accepted. I told you, what did I tell you like 2 years ago? The day would come, if you didn't want to, that you would never have to hold fiat. Fiat is government currency. Literally, the day is coming where you will never have to hold, if you didn't want to, any form of fiat. You could literally just hold the stable coin. Okay, USDT, USDC, there's a lot of them. We're not going to go down the list. And by the way, the number of stable coins is going to exponentially increase once the regulations for it are posted. Now, what do we know about regulations? We know that the US is going to have their crypto regulations out by end of August. I believe they will have stablecoin legislation possibly out before then, because that is its priority. Why is stablecoins its priority? We've already said it. It's because stablecoins will back the US dollar. That's why. So in the US, the priority is to get that system of stablecoins, how it's going to work, how they're going to regulate it, how are they going to be able to validate that they indeed have the reserves they say they have, because we know stablecoins have to have a one-to-one issue to backing. So if they're issuing a coin, there must be an asset backing that. We know this. That I know for a fact will be in the regulation. So all of that stuff is yet to come. I think we see stablecoin, a regulatory framework for stablecoins probably faster than the rest of crypto, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So we're watching that. And then also we're waiting very patiently for a tax code. The new tax code for the United States. It's going to be obliterated. It's going to be obliterated. And I'm not sure what exactly that's going to look like. I do believe there will be an incredible component in there when it comes to capital gains. That's the one I'm most paying attention to. There's going to be a whole lot of other benefits. They're actually saying that if you make less than $200,000 a year, you're probably not going to be paying nothing. Like zip. That's so they have a lot of goals. They have a lot of goals. We'll see what happens when they post it and how much of that gets passed. I know for sure it's going to be fantastic. President Trump has come out swinging and has accomplished almost everything that he set out to do. So that's pretty much the basics that I want to talk to there. I really want to get to some charts, because what we're going to do is we're going to look at Bitcoin real quick, Ethereum real quick, and kind of see where we are in the cycle and what's coming. So stand by. I'm going to move you guys over and then do a share screen. All right, stand by. All right, first chart we have up is a massive chart for Bitcoin. And I'm going to see if I can move this to the weekly and see what that looks like. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, yeah, this is cool. Okay, I know, a lot of lines. So this is a macro chart, okay? This goes all the way back to the two previous cycles. So the 2016 halving cycle, and I want you to see that macro trend line right across the 2020 cycle, and then on into our current cycle right here. And you can see this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 touch trend line. Okay, so that's the macro trend line. This trend line is going to get defeated. I really believe this trend line does get defeated. I think that Bitcoin, you can see it bouncing real hardly off of this major horizontal. This is a major mitigation right here. All right, we're going to open this up. I'm going to get rid of that other one. I'm going to get rid of the 2016 happening. So now I'm going to take you to a shorter term trend line. And this is the 2 cycle trend line. So this one runs from last cycle to this cycle. And you can see right now, after breaking up and hitting the 3 cycle channel top, it came down and mitigated the major horizontal. This is a major horizontal. So you have your breakout, correction, beautiful mitigation. And just like this 220-day pullback correction, that was the bottom. This is more than likely, this double bottom right here is more than likely the bottom, because this is major demand. Okay? So I want you to see this on a macro basis where we're at. We're going to kind of zoom in on current price action and the current trend. I'm going to pull these over for a minute. So this is our current bull market for Bitcoin. And I'm still on the weekly chart. So each one of these candles represents an entire week of price action. So for example, this is actually 220 days. 220 days. Yep. And the current one, I think we said was, we go from the top, 112 from the top to the bottom. So half the time. 220, half of that. And I told you guys this would take less time. This would take less time than this one. And indeed, that's what we got. So this one, we've got the major validation here, the major mitigation of the horizontal. And then we got the breakout of the short-term trend line. So we're going to zoom in on the daily chart and see what we got going. All right. Yep, this is where we're at. So we're basically zooming in and zooming in and zooming in. So there's that short-term downtrend line, which is the correction from the short-term double top. You got your double top here. That's a short-term top. Pop quiz. Why do we know this is not an end of cycle top? Why do we know this is a short-term top and not an end of cycle top? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. Because there's no distribution volume. Yes. There's been no mass distribution volume. Yes, Heidi. Thank you. Very good. Very good. So this has only been profit taking. Just like the 220 days that we analyzed to perfection, where we had profit taking followed by reaccumulation. Yep. Same thing. Profit taking followed by reaccumulation, breakout. Yeah, not end of cycle. Not end of cycle. So where do I think this is going? All right. So let me get your high here. Excuse me. So this is near 108. And I believe when you get very, very long corrections like this, your moves are substantial. Okay. And we talked about the if you went to the lowest low, to the high, this is a 123% move for Bitcoin. It's a substantial move. This is Bitcoin with a 123% move, okay? So what do I think we're going to get on the next one? And this would be the low right here. This would be the low. So from the low, in my opinion, we get on the next move, we go to 140K to probably 150K. 150K would be a 100% move. Now, will that be it? Will that be it for Bitcoin? Good question. Thank you for asking. We won't know until we see the volume. So once we get there, we have to see, are we seeing distributive end of cycle volume, or are we seeing profit taking volume? Because potentially a year and a half ago, my projections for this cycle were 140 to 200K in that ballpark. But because the dynamics of what we're seeing with nations, states, governments, and institutions massively accumulating, constantly buying, I believe we see more than half the S&P 500 companies start putting Bitcoin in their asset sheet. I think that I'm actually changing my viewpoint to Bitcoin actually possibly hitting 250,000 this cycle. Okay, then that would mean before the end of the year or into the second quarter of 2026. Again, that is an estimate. All right, we have to analyze. This is what we have to do. We have to take each run into account individually. It's how we knew this wasn't the end, because we watched the selling. And the selling here was only profit taking, not end of cycle. We did the same thing here. It was only profit taking, not end of cycle distribution. So when I make those projections, I have to watch the run, and then I have to analyze the next market structure to make that determination. Are we on the same sheet of music? All right, hopefully we're on the same sheet of music. So now I'm going to zoom in on this current price action and give you like a very short-term projection. Yeah, so we're going down to the 4-hour chart. So each one of these candles is now a 4-hour. So you can see the downtrend. You can see the nice bottom pattern here, nice accumulation. You can see the breakout and then the run here. So we're going to analyze this real quick. I'm going to open it up so you can see it. Yep, so these are your liquidity clusters. I'm moving it to the left so nothing's covered by the photo of me here. Yeah, so this again is a beautiful run. Beautiful run from the lows. Beautiful run. It's not the big major run. It's just the breakout move. Okay, so this looks to me like we're going to get a pullback from here. And that's great, because it's not the run that is the best. It's what holds up as support. You understand that? So that's what I'm excited to see next, because that sets the stage for bulls to take over. So we have this little short-term, I think this is a short-term top. I think Bitcoin's probably going to come down here and at least fill this one. This is liquidity here. You can see this candle. There's a lot of liquidity right here. So I think Bitcoin pulls back. This would fill all the way down to 88.8. Okay. And there is another lower one, but it may not fill that one because there is market structure here. Yep. There's some good market structure here. So we're watching this to see if this pulls back and sets the stage. It would look something like this. Yeah, just like this. And sets the stage for a retest of the ATH. Not in one fell swoop, but you get the point. Okay, so this is what I think short term we get is a pullback, but who knows? This could be a fake out here. This reclaims and this just keeps on going. These do not have to fill. I want to be very clear. But you cannot unsee them. You must know that they exist. All right, because if this comes back down, there's a reason. It would be to grab this money down here. This represents money in these areas. So this would not alarm me. This would not surprise me. Everybody else would think it's apocalyptic. It would not be. It would be very, very normal. Very good. Very good. Okay. So, but this is what we're waiting to see for Bitcoin. All right, let's check out Ethereum. I'm going to back this up a little bit. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start with this one. Don't worry, I'll open it up for you. Okay. So there's the top for Ethereum, right around 4,200. Equal highs. There's massive amounts of liquidity up here. We know that this is coming soon. What we need, though, is a break of this. So I'm going to zoom in on this market structure, and this is that correction. Yep. This is the correction. And so I've drawn these because I wanted you to see the stair step down. All right. It's very stair steppy. You get break, comes back up, retest, break, comes back up, retest, retest, break, come back up, retest, break, come back up, retest, break, come back up, retest. This has to change. Like this has to be reversed. We don't have that yet. We don't have that yet. So this is what we're looking for next. Okay. This is what we're looking for next. And we know ultimately that this is the ultimate spot that has to be broken because this is the high that precedes the low. This would be the change of character. But first and foremost, Ethereum needs to what? Try to get above this and hold this level as support. Okay? It has not done that yet through this entire descension. It has not done that yet through this entire descension. So we're going to look at one other chart for Ethereum, so I can show you where the liquidity is. So there we have the entire downtrend channel. This is a different view of it. It's the same chart I just showed you, but now you can see the channel. This is the channel that Ethereum's been trading in. The channel, potential bottom, and there's that stair step that this is currently testing. However, there's liquidity right below it. There's the change of character point. This is what Ethereum ultimately has to get above to confirm that the bottom is in fact in and we have a trend reversal. And that's sitting at 2,100. We've talked about this before. So there's a lot of stuff Ethereum has to do down here. So I'm going to zoom into the 4 hour and show you that liquidity. Let's just get rid of that and redraw one. All right, we're going to zoom in on this. So you can see this is the 4 hour chart. Here's the change of character, 2,100. Here's the current after we had that push off the lows. Boom. Created some liquidity. This is the current liquidity zone right in here. Yep. So Ethereum could come down and fill this liquidity somewhere in here. And then head up and test the chop. Yes. Do you see that? Potentially. Now, Bitcoin or Ethereum does not have to fill this. Remember, these do not have to be filled, especially since this actually got a major structure. This is a structure, a horizontal. Okay, this is a nice major horizontal. And this actually goes back even further. I'll let you chart that on your own if you want to. And so this is where we're testing today. So this could hold up. This could hold up. And we could head up and test the chops. I'm just showing you that there is money below so that you don't freak out if Bitcoin and Ethereum do in fact pull back. All right. So what I want to talk to you about real quick, now that I've shown you that, I don't want to go on. I could show you Bitcoin dominance, those type of things. We'll do that when we get into altcoins. But what I want to talk about is this. As far as altcoins go, we said this last week when we had our market video. Altcoins are at various stages of bottoming. Like many of them have well-established, very nice bottoming patterns. We need more of them to confirm bottoms. Okay, and right now, the majority of alts look like they still need to build out that right side. You know what I mean? You guys, you know, mostly when you have bottomings, you have a left side, a middle, and a right side. Okay, many of them. So most of them have the left side of their bottom, the middle portion of their bottom, well developed, very nice. They've come up and tested very nice resistance areas that need to be broken. So if we get a pullback, if the market does in fact pull back, altcoins will be able to build that right side. Now, many altcoins have already broken those resistance levels. Not many. Some of the strongest ones, like CRV, SUI, SUI, and a handful of others. They've already broken out, have headed higher, and can pull back and mitigate that and hold it as support. So across the landscape of altcoins, we have across Ethereum, the only thing that has had a change of character is what? Bitcoin. It's why it hasn't coughed up dominance yet. It's why it hasn't yet. That day is coming. That day is coming. I know you think it's not going to come. I know it's like it's never coming. It is, in fact, coming. You cannot stop what is coming. All of the fundamentals are there, and now the technicals are growing and building and looking more and more well established. And this isn't it, because we're going to do another video probably Friday or Saturday. This one's going to be on Altcoin Madness. So I'm going to show you how those bottoms looked so you can see how altcoins are developing, which ones look bullish, and we'll even take a look at some possible trade ideas. All right, I've gone long enough for this market video. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, baby. Here comes the boom.